Hi, Henry. My name is Neil. I'm with Dorkaholics, where we believe that there's a dork in everyone, and it's our job to bring that dork out into the world.
You found the right guy.
I mean, speaking of that, what made you a dork growing up?
Oh my God. I was really into Magic the Gathering. I played like CSGO and the original Counter-Strike in dungeons in the UK. Quake 3 was a game I used to play, StarCraft, Command and Conquer Red Alert, Pokemon. Nowadays I have a lot less time for like fun games like that and stuff like that. But I reminisce, and once in a while they'll come out with a crack. Like when Diablo came out, I was like super hyped about the latest one. But I think being obsessive over some um, really cool stuff, I suppose makes me somewhat of a geek.
I mean, I want to call you a dork.
That dork. Sorry.
Mhm. I mean, you bring up CS:GO and other shooting games, military style tones, and it's very reminiscent. Things that I thought of when I was watching you in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Yeah, I mean that's really what my childhood sort of consisted of. I used to sort of go with my brother to these internet cafes and play LAN games on Quake 2 and Quake 3 and um so for me that it was such a great release and it kind of made me the person that I am today, like strangely.
No, I can only imagine the joy your inner child felt when you got to show up to set and be told, "Hey, you're gonna be behind this machine gun, just like blasting."
Oh, to be honest, like the inner dork of me, like loved the fact that I was able to work with Guy Ritchie for the second time. I grew up literally geeking out to Snatch and Lock, Stock, and every other sort of week it would be on at my friend's house, or I'd have it on as like the late night movie or something like that. So to be able to work with him in that capacity in two movies that are like absolutely fantastic. Like I'm kind of happy with my career right now.
And what was your favorite stunt, or what was the most fun scene for you to film? Just because there's so many iconic scenes in the
There's
ministry.
you know what, like obviously the scene with the big machine gun, but I think the whole sequence of us alleviating the ships from the dockyard was like this phenomenal bit of sort of technical planning, but also just being there in the middle of the night with these explosions going off and these sort of like guns going off. I kind of had to pinch myself a few times.
Mhm. And the ministry really feels like a brotherhood. What was it like getting to know your cast members?
It literally was just like that. It was a brotherhood. Like as soon as they sort of shouted cut, like we'd all be hanging out. We'd be sort of hanging off the end of a boat or like eating our lunch together, like playing jokes on each other. So it really was, and we've all sort of kept in touch really strongly. We've made some like friends for life. So hopefully we get to do a round two.
No, absolutely. I'm curious just because I know Henry Cavill is a big is a big dork himself as well. In what
Yeah.
ways have you been able to share your inner dork with each other?
I mean, recently he's just released sort of news that he's having a kid, so we've been sort of geeking out about that a little bit with his partner. But he's a massive Warhammer fan, and I think he has that. And that was a bit more of a sort of like I said, Magic the Gathering. So there was two camps. You're either sort of playing Warhammer, well, three, I guess, Dungeons and Dragons or Magic the Gathering. So I got the I'm kind of practical in a way. I like carrying around things that I can sort of play with. Like having a whole Warhammer set, like was not back in that day. It was made of like die cast aluminum or like steel, so it was like really heavy. But yeah, he's very much a massive dork.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Henry. I
Appreciate
loved
it.
watching Ministry of Ungentlemanly
Yeah.
Warfare, and I can't wait to watch it again.
Thanks so much, Neil. Take it easy.